In round one of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships, Bevan Muir looked to be set to defend his #1 title at the first round, but then he made a mistake at Wanganui, and it cost him.
Just come around and just had a blink. Yeah.
But it opened the door for his teammate, partner and cohort, Baden Gray. So it was Baden Gray on top in Scott Waterjet's International Group A. From the close quarters action of round one in Wanganui, we moved to the Oldfields Aqua Track in Featherston inside the Tauheraniko Raceway for round two of the Scott Waterjets International Group A here in the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship. Once again, you'll be looking out for the defending #1, and that is Bevan Muir.
Boat's going good, and that's always good to know at the start of the season. You know, it's just got to work on the driving, really.
With the #1 on it for you and the 3 for Baden, do you feel any extra pressure? Do you feel like you got a bit of a target on yourself?
Oh, not really. I've probably let that pressure off a bit last week. So, just whatever will be, will be.
I was saying to Bev before, good day in round one for the boat. Not so much for him, but very good day for you.
Yeah, no, it was tremendous. It was first win, so it was a real buzz. So see what we can do today.
They say that once you get the feeling, it's hard to get rid of it. So
Yeah,
maybe today's the day as well.
Yeah, it's just a confidence thing, eh? So got to smooth it up and just go harder.
As usual, the tight confines of the Oldfields Aqua Track caught a few. Blair Gibbard finished 15th after this little incident. Just cutting the grass on the islands. Also problems for number 36, Brian Donald, and his soon-to-be son-in-law from Scotland in the navigator's seat. And Mark Newdick wasn't immune either. 13th place for Newdick, but he kept the boat in one piece, and that was good news for his son Sam. Biggest surprise came with Mark Shirtliff, could only manage 12th after this. Luckily the boat wasn't too damaged, so it meant Choco would get through. Problems too for Phil Whelans and Darren Judd in the hire company. They chased a mechanical issue all morning. It affected Red Smith as well. Phil Whelans would come up with an 11th place finish. And in 10th, well, the bad luck seems to continue for Shane Wood and Craig Shaw in Outlaw Racing. They just can't get out of the top 10. Ninth place was Richard Murray and Kessie Manning, a new boat for them at round one in Wanganui. Didn't go too much better here at Featherston. So if we have a look, it is Baden Gray continuing on his winning ways from Wanganui. He was the quickest in the 16 with a 52.73. His teammate Bevan Muir in second place, and Red Smith, finally putting the mechanicals aside, got up into third place. Further down the list, we'll have a look. Shane Wood, the bad luck continues for him. And the drivers below him, well, they got a little bit more work to do if they can make it into the 8 at the next round. So we move into the top 8, and this is Bevan Muir in Tang Tools Racing. Once again, I'm joined in commentary by Jamie McCarthy. Well, this guy could have done so much more, save for a navigational error at Wanganui. I think he's ready for redemption here, Jamie.
Well, he's got the 1 NZ on the boat and absolutely looking for redemption, and he's only a tenth slower than Bevan Muir in the fastest outright lap for the day. So 52.7 for Baden Gray, 52.8 for Bevan Muir in the top 16. So navigational errors aside, I think he's back on form here at Featherston.
Well, they've been entertaining the big crowd here at Featherston, as we always get. And this track, as we've seen, can catch a few. I think these guys are too good for that, though.
Yeah, beautiful weather. Looking for the split to come up for Bevan Muir. Alongside Bevan is Kathy Barker.
36.38 at the split.
So that's right on the pace of where they've been throughout the day so far, just progressively going forward. They started the day in the 56s in qualifying and ended in the top 16, as I said, out of 52.8. Here's the time coming up for Bevan Muir.
Better than 52, 51.93 for Bevan Muir. So once again, he set the benchmark. Gary Smith the next to go. And Gary Smith, well, they dodged a bullet when Mark Shirtliff put the boat on its side. There was no real damage. So Gary and Suzanne Shirtlift on the journey here. This is the top 8, remember. We've cut them from 16.
Beautifully presented team. Now, these guys have got some work to do because their fastest time has been a 55.0, so they're better part of about 2.5 seconds down on the pace set by the likes of Baden Gray, Bevan Muir, and even Reg Smith in the hire company boat with their problems aside. So we'll watch for this first split to come up, remembering that Muir's first split was a 36.38.
Gee, it's a big ask for them to pick up that sort of time. It's over the 36, it's a 37.
37.79, he's got some work to do, and he got a little bit untidy at the hairpin, and that's probably the most critical corner at this Featherston track.
Well, Gary sort of made a comeback to racing a couple of years ago. He was doing all the administration, still very much heavily involved in the track here, so maybe he's got one side of his brain on that and maybe not on the racing. 54.38, it's an improvement, but I just wonder if it'll be enough. Andrew Guthrie, the president of the NZJSA, on the journey now with Janine Ingram. The boat is Kems Racing.
So just looking at their times, Phil, they've peaked at a 54.8. So again, they've got about, well, probably the better part of 2 seconds to try and make up on the likes of the top 3, Gray, Muir and Smith, going into this all-important top 8.
Well, he said by his own admission they struggled at Wanganui, maybe the new boat blues.
At this stage of the afternoon, the water's starting to get a lot browner because of the clay base. It just brings all of that material up, and it makes the jet units have to work a whole lot harder. The split 37.77, he's 200ths quicker than Smith.
Yeah, but he's a long way off that 36.38. Once again, the New Zealand champions set the benchmark. What can Andrew do with Janine sitting beside him, guiding him through?
Well, a little bit quicker than Choco, 54.08. Hey, it's his best lap of the weekend so far.
Blake Bryant comes up to bat now, son of Peter, nephew of Rex, so a fair old pedigree in the family. And I know Peter's here today, and he's no doubt been helping his son. What can they do? They've been going pretty well.
He's been on a similar pace set by Andrew Guthrie, their quickest lap of 54.85 in the top 16, and they've just been rolling through the 55s into the high 54s.
Well, he got very wide in that corner there. They tell me that you got a boat right down the centre of the course, and they're going from island to island at the moment. Oh, and it's got just a little bit wide here on Bryant, and that is it. Well, he won't finish, and that's the end of Blake Bryant's challenge here at Featherston. Well, this is Sam Newdick. A sensation at round 1 at Wanganui, first time under race conditions in Scott Waterjet's Group A.
Former New Zealand Lights champ, finished second to Dave Stone last year. Had a pretty solid opener at the opening round at Wanganui for the Scott Waterjet Group A's. His fastest lap so far this weekend, Phil's been a 54.7, so he's about a 10th quicker than the likes of Andrew Guthrie and Blake Bryant.
Well, the other guys have been going a little bit quicker in this elimination. Let's hope that Sam Newdick can as well.
He's going to need to find at least 2 seconds to really force the issue with the top 3 guys at the moment. Here's the split coming up, looking for a high 36, low 37.
Oh, it's going to be over that, I think, Jamie. It is. It's in the 38s. 38.11. So that sort of puts the writing on the wall a little bit. He's really going to have to bring it home hard now.
Well, it's the slowest of the spits. He just caught the edge of the bank. You don't want to make too many aggressive cuts here at Featherston.
No, that's right. Well, Sam heading to the finish. 54.38. That's his fastest lap, but maybe not going to be quite good enough. Ray and navigator wife Nikki Ferguson have come through the ranks of the Lights, the Group A's, and last year flirted with the Suzuki Superboats. But it's back to Scott Waterjet's Group A with their boat, Altherm Coldplay. This season, if they can maintain the potential of a couple of seasons ago, this flying couple could be the ones to watch out for. So this is Ray Ferguson. We look right deep into his eyes. Nikki, his wife, sits alongside him. He tells me he suffers terribly from nerves before he gets in the boat. He paces up and down, he wanders in and out of the pits. But once he's in the boat, he's fine. He's in the boat now, you're riding with him here. Altherm Coldplay is the boat, Ray and Nikki Ferguson.
Ray would have to be one of the smoothest drivers out there in Scott Waterjet Group A. His fastest lap's been a 54.1, so we're seeing the time starting to come down towards the top 3 or 4 at the moment. So if he can make some gains here, he could be looking good for the top 4. Sam Newdick sitting on the bubble with the split coming up.
That's right, we're into that part of the eliminations. We'll be starting to put them on the trailer. He'd be looking for a 38 and change, I would think, Jamie, if he's got a hope of this.
Really needs to be a high 36. He's past that 38.01. Well, he's a 10th quicker than Newdick, and Newdick's the one on the bump. Certainly Blake Bryant's going no further, so he will definitely not make the top 4.
There's the time to beat the 54.38 of Newdick. It's going to be desperately close here, and you mentioned Ray was super smooth. He looks like he's going slow, I can tell you he's not. And he beats Newdick, 54.11. He eliminates Sam Newdick. Well, this guy, you know, he's not going to go slow. This is Baden Gray. Time to beat now is Gary Smith's at 54.38, and I would say it's in real danger here, Jamie.
Well, he has set the fastest lap so far through the weekend in the top 16 at 52.79. And just listening to Ray Ferguson's last run, that boat sounded quite flat. It's certainly not pulling the similar RPM that we can hear here with Baden Gray.
No, but we see, don't we, in International Group A, it's sort of a battle of the engine builders as much as anything else.
Could be different muffler configuration, it could be a number of things. I thought Ray Ferguson's lap was pretty stout. Here's the split, 36.32. He's 600ths quicker than Bevan Muir.
It's the fastest split we've seen in this elimination. So it's going to be a battle of the teammates again. The time to beat, remember, the 54.38. But in the back of his mind, Baden Gray would thinking, I'd love to top Bevan.
Oh, he was close, 51.99, just 7/100 slower.
There's only 3 here in the 53s. Next boat's in the 55s.
Yeah, and guess what? It's Baden and Bevan, our 2 arch rivals. So, yeah, you know, I mean, there's not much left, to be honest. That last run was, you know, pretty much hard into it. So you're going to have to get out there and cut some corners.
Well, Red Smith said it, he's going to cut some corners. They've had all sorts of problems all morning, all sorts of mechanical issues. They had the float bowls off the carburetor, they had the ignition out of the thing, but now it is back to its best. I'm sure Peter Bryant came over and helped them. So let's see what Reggie can do. He said he's going to cut some corners. That can be dangerous sometimes here at Featherston.
Absolutely, and we've seen a few try it, and it's ended in grief. But this boat sounds very, very crisp. It's a brand new white pointer Stinger hull. 53.062. They were comfortably 3rd quickest after qualifying in the top 16.
Well, he's riding a bit of a high from the Worlds, where he finished 2nd equal.
37.19 was the split, so he would be pretty comfortably the 3rd best split.
Yeah, Jamie, but it's the 3rd best split behind one boat.
Exactly, so Ray Ferguson now sitting on the bubble. Here's the finish, 53.09.
So we've found our top 4 here at Featherston, and it's Bevan Muir, the New Zealand #1, up against his teammate Red Smith, and Andrew Guthrie, the NZJSA president, makes it with that 54.08. So this is Bevan Muir. Because the boats are double driven, they'll top and tail the top 4. And look at the previous times. Man, if you're watching this and you're getting ready to sit in your boat, you'd be cringing.
Which just shows you how competitive Scott Waterjet Group A is. I mean, just 7/100ths of a second difference between Baden Gray and Bevan Muir going into this top 4 run. And Red Smith is not too far away. Andrew Guthrie's probably the one with a bit more work to do. Looking for the first split to come up for Bevan Muir and Kathy Barker in 10 Tools Racing.
Well, they did a 36.38 in the top 8. Will they improve?
Oh, it's a little bit slower, 36.65, so they've just backed up a touch, and that might also be the fact that the water's getting a lot dirtier, getting a lot heavier with the clay getting pulled up off the bottom.
And a little bit less water too, Jamie.
Absolutely, late stages of the afternoon, 52.02. He's backed it up just a touch, but only by about a 1/10 of a second.
Felt a good run too, good run, but we'll see. A bit more in it. I think I got the hairpin a bit messy, so we'll just try and smooth her up.
It's looking like getting closer and closer to being a Baden Gray versus Bevan Muir final.
Man, he's a thorn on my side this year, man. But good on him. He's been chipping away, and he's done something over the winter that he hasn't told me.
Andrew Guthrie was born in Levin in the 60s, and now is a dairy farmer in Wanganui. It's Wanganui that got him and his navigator Janine Ingram interested in jet sprinting, an interest that has in the past resulted in a top 3 finish for Kems Racing. Andrew has put his commitment to the sport on the line and is currently the New Zealand Jetsprint Association chairman. So this is the chairman, the leader of the board, on the line here with his long-time navigator Janine Ingram. And look at the times here. They've really got to crack something special, Jamie, if they want to go any further. 54 is just not going to cut it.
Well, he steadily got quicker throughout the weekend, and that's the goal that most of these drivers are trying to get to. 54.8 in the 16, 54.0 in the top 8. So he took 0.8 of a second off his run in the 16, and that's a pretty impressive effort. Let's see what the split comes up to.
Last time he did a 37.77. Will he be quicker this time around? Coming up to the split mark. Oh, just gets a little bit untidy out of that corner.
He's getting
lots of him.
He's getting lots of bite though. 37.19. He's 0.6 quicker.
Well, he's going in the right direction.
He's on a lap here.
Are we going to see the first sub 54 second run for Andrew Guthrie? Oh, once again, a little bit untidy, but keeps his foot hard up it.
The boat was right up out of the water to the line. 53.27.
Andrew, not quite good enough.
No, he's just hooked that weight coming into the last finishing sequence there, and yeah, lost traction. So still start of the day we had a huge engine miss and thought bloody lucky if we made the top 16. Lucky there was.
So Reg and Julie Smith go next, and on the bubble, even though he's run his best lap, the 53.27, is Andrew Guthrie. And look at the times for Reggie Smith. He's been in the 53s. He'll look to go better than that, though.
Last three runs, very, very consistent. 53.2, 53.06, 53.09. He's definitely going to have to get into the low 52s to really force the issue against Baden Gray and Bevan Muir. We heard Andrew Guthrie talking about losing traction. We heard the boat get up out of the water. The engine RPM came out, and basically the jet unit's just unable to pump water.
That's right, it's sucking air. Have a look at the split here for Red Smith. Is it going to be in the 36s? Yes, it is. But is it going to be quick enough? Oh, 36.66. I don't know.
Well, he's about a half a second up on what he did previously, so he's on a better lap here. Could be looking at a high to mid-52.
Well, if you get in the 52s, you put the cat among the pigeons, and that's exactly what he does. 52.72.
Yeah, it's probably as best we're going to get out of it. Pushing pretty hard. We're kind of done, I think, We're taking a bit of water, and I don't know quite where, but we're carrying quite a bit of water with us. And maybe a jet unit's leaking or something, but no excuses. Driving the pants off it, but I can't quite catch him. So,
well, with Baden Gray to come, Reg Smith is in the top two at the moment, but Andrew Guthrie is gone, so it's Reg Smith that sits on the bubble.
Pretty amazing when you consider when we started this morning they were struggling to get into the 55s, and now the bubble spot's a 52.72.
Bevan Muir's previous split was a 36.38. Let's see how this balances out in this run. So at the moment he's up against Bevan Muir and Reg Smith. Reg Smith sitting on the bubble. Take a ride with Bevan Muir heading towards the split. He got that hairpin run beautifully.
Oh, it's a good split too. 36.48.
Well, it's a 10th down on his run in the top 8, but we saw Bevan Muir just back up a touch as well, and I wonder if this stage of the afternoon, a lot heavier water and maybe just starting to take the edge off the blades as they get to the line. 51.93.
Wow, did he bring it home hard? Did Baden Gray. So we've found our top two and their teammates. They'll race the same boat. Baden Gray will take on Bevan Muir here in Scott Waterjet final.
Boat's going really good, and I've got my head around it. It's finally clicked, so I've been as calm as all day. So things out there are happening slowly, so it's no big panic like it used to be.
So it is the final in Scott Waterjet's International Group A, and first to go it is the New Zealand number 1, and that is Bevan Muir and Kathy Barker. Teng Tools Racing is a boat, and both these guys talk about people that come interestingly into the sport, and they say just keep plugging away. That's what they did when they first got into the sport. They were lucky to get in the top 16. Look at them now.
This could be a close final, Phil, because Bevan Muir did a 51.928 in the top 8. Baden Gray just did a 51.929. There's 1/1000th of a difference between these two and their fastest laps of the weekend to the final in Scott Waterjet Group A. Split coming up. And it's quick.
Close, 36.21. Wow. Well, he says anything you can do, I can do better.
That is the best split. That's a full 10th quicker than he did in the top 8, so he's on a run here.
Is he going to break the 51? No, he's not. 51.90. Now, what can his brother-in-law do? Baden Gray gets the job done here. Remember, he is the points leader. Came off the win in Wanganui. He's on a bit of a roll. Both of them struggled at the Worlds in Australia, but boy, they put that to rights once they've got back on Kiwi soil.
Has Bevan Muir done enough? A 51.90. His fastest lap of the weekend, but he's only improved it by 2 tenths. I think this first split's going to be interesting here, Phil, because we just saw Muir do his best split of the weekend at a 36.21. What's Baden Gray got?
Here he comes. It's going to be oh so close. You've got to put your hands together for the crew and the engineers on this boat too to make it so even. 36.07. Baden Gray says, take that, Bevan Muir.
He's a tenth and a half up on Bevan Muir at the moment. This could be something pretty special. 51.9 is the time to beat for Bevan Muir, looking to go 2 for 2 in the first 2 rounds.
One corner to go here for Baden Gray, and it's a 51.49. He's beaten his teammate. Fair and square this time. He beat him last week in Wanganui when Bevan went wrong on the course, but Baden Gray's laid down the gauntlet and got the win.
51.49, you and Tanya, you've done the business.
Yeah, mate, yeah, no, it's all good. No, wrap with that.
Good to get the boat in the final with both teams in there.
Oh, it's a great boat. Glenn Gordon did the motor. Gary Croker still in the head shop. Wicked packet.
Bevan, you said he was a pain in your ass, and he was.
Oh, mate, he just doesn't stop. He's done something on the off-season and there's nothing stopping him now.
He told me he thought he'd found something in the off-season and he thinks that this is going to be his year.
Yeah, well, he's done something. He's keeping it secret.
Well, 2 rounds down out of 6 in Scott Waterjet International Group A, and it's Baden Gray on top just by the 4 points now from Red Smith. Bevan Muir, because of that problem with Wanganui, is back in 3rd place, and then it's the new boy in Group A, that is Sam Newdick. Well, to the victor go the spoils, and Baden Gray picks up the champagne here at Featherston.